Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Will Turbitt for Demand the Truth, and today I'm going to talk to you about fluoride in the water. So let's start at the very beginning. Now everything I'm going to tell you today is based in fact, which is all sourced. I can give you the links in the description. I'll also give you a website with the bibliography of scientific literature at the end of this video to check out to verify the claims that I'm making. So the history of fluoridation started with Alcoa, the Aluminum Corporation of America. Now back at a time when lead and asbestos was still used, aluminum, the byproduct of aluminum, is hydrofluorosilicic acid, sodium fluoride, or more commonly known as fluoride. And what happens is, as a byproduct, fluoride is produced, and that cannot be disposed of in an environmentally friendly way. So if you take a look at the bag here, it says, danger, poison, toxic by ingestion. So with the help of this gentleman right here, Edward Bernays. Now Edward Bernays was the nephew of Sigmund Freud. He worked with the presidents, the Rockefellers. He was the guy that created public relations. He also said that citizens, American citizens, should be turned from American citizens to consumers. And quotes from himself, and you can also hear his daughter speak about this, as well as interviews with him online. There's an amazing documentary called Century of Self, Edward Bernays, done by the BBC. And he openly says that he thinks the masses, people like you and I, are stupid. He even calls his own daughter stupid. And he says American citizens should turn into American consumers. And he definitely helped with that. So a recent Harvard study showed the impact of fluoride on neurological development in children. And this is from the official Harvard website. You can just Google it, type Harvard fluoride study. And this will show you here there's a direct correlation between fluoride in the water and lowering of IQs. So you can take a look here, continuing the study. Not just the fluoride study done by Harvard, but 36 studies have been done globally with showing a correlation between fluoride and a lower IQ. Here's another couple interesting facts. I won't read this whole thing to you, but 23 plus human studies and 100 plus animal studies have linked fluoride to brain damage. So here are some fluoride related health problems. As you can see, increased lead absorption, lethargy, muscle disorders, thyroid disease, arthritis, dementia, the list goes on. Fluoride affects not just your teeth. Obviously, when you ingest something, it affects more than just your teeth. It affects many other tissues in your body, as well as bones. And there are a number of scientific studies that are displayed here. And this source is the National Research Council, Fluoride in the Drinking Water, a scientific review. And it shows it affects many other tissues and bones besides your teeth, obviously. Okay, fluoride supplements have never been approved by the FDA. And as a matter of fact, the only fluoride supplements reviewed by the FDA have been rejected. Here we are looking at graphs. All the data from these graphs are taken from the World Health Organization. It shows tooth decay levels from across the globe. The countries in blue did not fluoridate their water, whereas the countries in red did fluoridate their water. And as you can see, regardless of fluoridation, overall tooth decay is down. This next graph shows an overall decrease in tooth decay amongst 12-year-olds after eliminating fluoride in these East German states. This graph shows the EU and its member states, and it particularly highlights Ireland. The Republic of Ireland remains the only EU country with a mandatory policy of fluoridation of drinking water supplies. Between 1980 and 1990, only 3 countries had better dental health than Ireland in the European Union. By 2009, every other EU country had better dental health than Ireland without the need for fluoridation of drinking water. Next, this graph shows that starting in the 50s in Japan, when they began fluoridating their water, the amount of tooth decay steadily rose. Then, in 1975, when they took out the fluoride, the amount of tooth decay steadily decreased. Finally, this is a graph from Sweden showing that after eliminating fluoride in 1977, the amount of tooth decay dropped dramatically. Okay, here's another common myth that most people have. Fluoridated countries do not have less tooth decay than non-fluoridated countries. If you look at tooth decay, and this is beginning in 1970 all the way up to 2010, the blue countries are the non-fluoridated, the red countries are the fluoridated. And you can see, regardless of fluoridation or not, overall tooth decay is going down. So it's not necessarily the fluoride. So let's talk briefly about Dr. Dean Burke, PhD. He spent 34 years at the National Cancer Institute. He equates water fluoridation to public murder. That's a quote of his. And he talks about a study demonstrating that deaths from cancer abruptly rose in as little as a year or two after water began being fluoridated. This and other studies link fluoride to cancer, were government ordered but were quickly buried once they were found to be linked to dramatic increases in cancer. And this is a quote from Mr. Burke here. He says, in point of fact, fluoride causes more human cancer and death, and it causes it faster than any other chemical. This gentleman right here, Dr. Hardy Lineback, he's a member of the National Academy of Sciences. He's also a PhD, and you can read the extensive accolades below his name. It says, here in Toronto, we've been fluoridating the water for 36 years. Yet in Vancouver, which is never fluoridated, has a cavity rate lower than Toronto's. So as you can see already, fluoride is not a good thing for us to be drinking and having in our water. And it says here, the evidence that fluoridation is more harmful than beneficial is now overwhelming. Okay, here's another quote from Dr. John Yamuyani. He says, we would not purposely add arsenic to the water supply, and we would not purposely add lead, but we do add fluoride. The fact is, fluoride is more toxic than lead and slightly just less toxic than arsenic. So besides the negative health impact of fluoride, there's also the financial problem. There's the expenditure. Here's a recent news article from ABC News out of Australia. And a mayor down there, this woman, refused to fluoridate her water because it cost her town over $300,000 a year to buy the chemicals to poison us, to lower our IQ. So we're paying for toxins to be put into our water. And this is something that started when lead and asbestos was still prevalent, and we really need to get rid of it. So take a look at this.
First tonight, hazmat crews from all across our area responded to a chemical leak this afternoon in Rock Island. The chemical was so strong that it was burning through the concrete there. News 8's Christy Mergenthal has the latest.
It was just before 1 o'clock Thursday afternoon when hazmat crews were called to the Rock Island water treatment plant for a chemical spill coming from this tanker truck.
It's a corrosive agent that the water treatment plant uses, and there was an overflow that caused spillage out from the building onto this driveway behind me.
As plant employees evacuated, crews began suiting up, working quickly to stop the leak that had begun eating through concrete.
And they stopped the leak using some earthen berms with dirt, sand, and some commercial boom equipment, and had it contained pretty much to this facility within a short amount of time.
The chemical hydrofluorosilic acid is used to add fluoride to the plant's water. Although it poses a burn risk to skin, those living nearby were in no immediate danger.
There's no inhalation hazard at all, so there was no need for us to evacuate any residents around the area.
After several hours, crews were able to clean up the leak, allowing operations to return to normal.
They had to cordon off the area, obviously, but as far as the treatment of the water and the amount of water being used by the public, there's no effect on that at all.
In Rock Island, Christy Mergenthal, WQAD Quad Cities, News 8.
Thank you, Christy. Investigators tonight still haven't given an official estimate on just how much of that chemical spilled out.
So we are paying for something that burns through concrete, and we have to have hazmat crew go there and respond to it, and we're putting this in our drinking water. And on top of that, take a look at this promotion here. Fluoridated water for your baby. It's what babies crave. Most babies don't have teeth. If they do, they don't have many. And another point about fluoride is it's medication. It's medication added to the water supply. No other medication is added to the water supply. If you go to the doctor, you say, take 2 of these in the morning, take 2 of these in the evening. The problem with fluoride is medication, and you cannot control the dose. You can't control how much an individual drinks. You can't control if it affects old people or young people. These babies are still developing, and there's no dose on the poison that they're injecting. And now, places like Walgreens, Walmart, CVS, they're saying, hey, yeah, let's put fluoride in the water. Great idea. Here's another fact. 40% of American teenagers show visible signs of fluoride overexposure. And if you have too much fluoride, even if you can cite the study that says, hey, it's good topically, the one study that they have that says good topically, not even to be ingested, overfluoridation causes horrible tooth decay. And you can see right here, 40% of American teenagers show that. Now, it's not just here. Fluoride victories are all over the world. Now, among the last couple of years, more countries, more towns, more cities have been taking fluoride out of their water. Right now, in Portland, Oregon, they're trying to get rid of fluoride as we speak. And as you can see here, it says 14 Nobel scientists say fluoride is toxic. Keep in mind also, 98% of Europe does not fluoridate the water, and they have the same teeth health as we do. And as you may or may not know, here in Rhode Island we're fighting to take fluoride out of the water, and we're going to be having a rally at Providence City Hall May 31st at 3 p.m. So please come out and show your support to that. Let these people know you do not want something that can burn through concrete in your children's drinking water. And on top of that, you don't want to pay for it. But recently, this is an article from January from the Rhody Beat. Providence Water lowers the fluoride levels because of information they got here from the EPA and the American Dental Association. Now, anything that I said about fluoride, or if you want to do your own research, learn more about fluoride, go to slweb.org/bibliography. Right here, it cites every single piece of scientific literature on fluoride and its effects on not just teeth, but every other part of the body from all over the world. It's all sources there. So don't take any of my word for this. Check it out for yourself. Now that you know that fluoride is a poison and you're paying for it, it is your duty, it is your responsibility to take action and inform others. Now while you're doing so, you can drink Fiji water or Iceland Pure. Both also have a high pH content above 7. Or you can purchase a ProPure filter, which removes almost all traces of fluoride. Now as people get more informed across the globe, not just here in America, more and more victories for fluoride are occurring. Now lastly, remember, on the back of a toothpaste, it says right here, if more than used for brushing is accidentally swallowed, contact poison control or get immediate medical help. Yet every time you drink 8 ounces of water, you're consuming the same amount of fluoride, which is harmful if you swallow in toothpaste. So now you know you're being poisoned. What are you going to do? Are you going to sit there and take it, or are you going to take action? It's up to you. Thank you for watching, and contact us at Demand the Truth on Twitter and on the web, demandthetruth.net. Thank you, and take action.